is against your former team, and he thought, like, you'd be willing.
I'm aware.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is this something you get up for? Is this something you think about?
Nah, every game I get up for. Every game is tremendously important.
Yeah.
A win in Minnesota is just as big as a win anywhere, and every game has the same significance. It's putting one in the left column, and that approach is what built a standard and built a habit when it comes time for playoffs.
But that place was a big part of your life for a long time. I mean, that doesn't make it like you'll see friends.
Yeah, it's awesome to see friends. It's going to be obviously different to be sitting on the other side. I've never done that in Minnesota, but that's always been the mentality. Every game counts the same.
Yeah.
And I pride myself in treating every game as such.
It's a natural point where people might evaluate, you came here, they went there. Both teams maybe have similar records, or maybe you guys are a little bit better. Sorry. But it does seem natural that people would take a look at that. You think it's just way too early to judge you guys?
That's a big trade. So you expect people to be comparing it for the end of time. So it's just my job to do what I can control, which is being the best version of myself possible for this team and helping this team succeed. So I'm not. Obviously, the comparisons will be up to y'all. My job is to make sure that I take care of my own.
When people talk about, or players or coaches talk about finding an identity, it's usually associated with like defense or playing tough. You never hear a team say, like, our identity is offense. Why do you think that is? Like, is there something beyond offense?
No one said that before?
I never hear it. Maybe I'm
Mike D'Antoni?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't accountable. Nobody said it since. Post that.
So we debunked that question.
Yeah.
All right. I hear where you're going.
My thing is, like, is an identity something you can hang your hat on? Not necessarily what you're good at. But
I don't think it's something that, it's true what they say, and I've seen it, offense, what they say, offense wins games, defense wins championships, like, it's true. And, but, just an example, last year in Minnesota, I've been to the Western Conference Finals, and it's the defense I got to say. So it's important that we build that into the other side of the court and be the best versions we can. Obviously it's great. We have a head start for us right now statistically, where we need to be offensively to be that team, but the defense has to catch up and match that standard. And once we do that, you hope at the end of any 2 games, when you step into the playoffs, you have both sides figured out.
So a couple days after, what's your reaction to that running game?
Oh, it hurts. It's a tough loss. It's a tough loss for sure.
What did you learn from it?
It's a lot. You always learn a lot from the game, and it's taught me ways I can be better for my teammates and things. Like every game, every loss teaches you something truly valuable, and watching the tape and being obviously part of the game. Sometimes you miss things that are seen on tape but not actually on the court that's being done. So for me to have both perspectives now, I learned a lot about us, and I'm excited that that experience made us better, and I'll be able to be a better teammate when it comes to those situations.
Have you ever played on Christmas?
Yes.
How many times? Do you know?
Twice.
Twice?
I think twice.
Twice? Okay.
So it's my third, I think.
Okay.
Or fourth.
So I know that you obviously grew up understanding that MSG was the Mecca. What is it? And I'm asking you to think a week and a half from now, but what is it going to mean to have your first Christmas Day game at MSG?
Oh, it's going to be special. It's going to be special to be able to be, to be playing at the Mecca. Obviously any day you get to play at MSG, honestly, is special. It's a special place. It's a place that has a special meaning and a special place in my heart for my family and I. But it's going to be really cool to be, all the legends and greats and the great, amazing games that have been played on Christmas Day at the Mecca, to be able to say one of those games I've been able to play in. It's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be different too for my family to be able to drive to the game instead of having to fly, stay the night over, and then have to watch me play.
Oh, your dad's going to be fired up.
Did you know that your call with Cal Perry was on television?
No.
You didn't know?
No.
Did you see it?
No.
No.
I know what I said though.
You always bust your chops about pick and roll defense? You're busting his butt.
he always got something to say. Like I said, he had an epiphany, must have, because now his big guys are shooting threes, and I wasn't allowed to shoot threes. I mean, I'm not stingy about losing a national championship.
Was that when you were on the phone in Toronto? Was that the same exact time?
Yeah.
That was
him.
I heard you on the
that
phone.
Was him. Yeah, that was
him.
That's why I told him. I said, "Nah, you made me make time for you
Yeah, I heard
before and after the game. I'm gonna make some time for me right now."
He did. Is everybody healthy? Or?
Ariel still he did some, but not the contact part.
Mitchell sprinting at all?
Just as basically saying, he hasn't been cleared to practice yet. So
What did you see from the tape of
the big thing is just finishing the defense. The rebounding. One possession, we gave up 5 offensive rebounds. In the fourth. So that's probably the biggest thing.
In the process of figuring out what the best version of the Knicks looks like, or getting to the best version of the Knicks, what is the time period you give yourself in experimenting with certain things before you decide this works for us, this doesn't work for us? Sometimes can it be a whole season before you feel confident?
And that's the challenge you have, with your team all the time. And that's why you have your daily objectives. What are we trying to accomplish each day? And if the focus is on improvement, right? And I think that's a big part of this is even the things you're doing well, you have to think that you can do them better. And the things that you're not doing well, obviously you tend to focus more on that to try to improve in those areas. But it's never where you have it solved for the year. You may be locked into defensive transition for a week, and that gets a lot better. And then something else shifts. Maybe it's you're challenging the shots or containment of the dribble. Maybe it's middle penetration, whatever it might be. Maybe it's rotational blockouts. A big goes to help, right? Whatever that is, that's where you have to shift. And the idea is to be playing your best at the end, knowing that it's a long schedule that you have to stay locked into it. And it's challenging at times because it's easy to get distracted, or it's easy to get caught up in the length of the season, and that's why each day is so important. And just stay locked in and focus on thinking that we can do it better.
So you know Bill Belichick a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I was just wondering your thoughts on him.
I think he was great.
Going back to NCAA, going to NCAA.
Yeah, just and it's fascinating to me. I think college sports in general there's a huge change in it, and it's a big shift. And I think you're talking about the all-time greatest coach. And whether doesn't matter what it is, NFL or college, he's great. I think you've seen a number of guys, Pete Carroll do it, and I think it's more appealing now probably than ever because it is you see that oftentimes now the colleges are hiring GMs. Like the great Adrian Wojnarowski, St. Bonaventure. Shout out to my father.
Did you ever think about? I know you started in college. Did you ever think about going there?
To me, I never really planned on, anything other than I knew I wanted to be a coach, and so every stop that I've had, I've loved the job that I've had. Whether I was an assistant, college coach, an NBA assistant, NBA head coach, they're great jobs. If you love, teaching and leadership and being part of a team, being part of an organization, I mean, it's not work. I saw where Bill said that it really isn't. If you love what you do, it's not work, and we're fortunate to be doing stuff that we love.
Trae Young and McHale the other night. McHale's long, but maybe not as quick as a little smaller player like that. Is there another way you consider approaching that, or are you locked in on McHale on the point of attack?
The thing is, it's like with all, every great player, you're not guarding them individually. You have to guard them collectively, and it's not. If it were a one-on-one game, you could say, well, that this didn't work, or because oftentimes it's what's coming off of it. It's You know, is there a big involved? Is there a small involved? Is there a switch involved? Is there a blitz involved? Are we up to touch? Or what are we doing? Or where's the screen occurring? You know, and is he on the ball? Is he off the ball? Like, those are things that require your team being connected and tied together on. And as I said, you know, like when you look at it in totality, it's more than anything, I think they shot 40%, you know. And so then you look at, okay, what were, you know, we made 22 threes against them in the first game. I knew they would be flying at us, and they did. And so I think the big thing is, you know, what's our effort to keep them off the glass, you know, and that's where we have to be better. And that, you know, the game was in the balance, and, you know, you give a team five shots, 5 cracks at it, it's going to be hard to win that game.
I mean, kind of, when you put this team together, didn't you kind of expect the drop off in offensive rebounding?
You know, like, you're going to get strengths, and like Cat's rebounding has been off the charts, so that's been a huge plus. And then, you know, Josh has always been an excellent rebounder. And so we have to gang rebound, and we knew that, but we had to gang rebound all last year as well. The second half of the year, we were small, you know, and that requires everyone working together. And, you know, whatever the strengths of your team are, you figure that out, and what gives you the best chance to win. And so, you know, and again, you know, we're 25 games into it, and we got to keep our focus on that daily improvement. And there's some things that we've done extremely well, other things that we would like to do better. And it gives us a chance to, you know, dig into that and refocus and re-energize and keep moving forward. And so we want to keep improving. I think that's the biggest thing is, I think as soon as you start feeling good about what you've done or where you are, usually that's when the slippage occurs. So stay hungry to improve. I think the biggest part of mental toughness is having the belief that you could always do something better.
Yeah, just a third into the season, but what has stood out to you the most about how Karl has adjusted to this group?
You know, I think he fit in seamlessly just because, one, his experience. You know, I think that he's been in the league a long time, so he understands the league. He understands how teams are defending him. And then I think he's learning his teammates. Each day there's more and more chemistry coming. And I think it'll continue to improve. And I think when you look at, you know, where we are offensively, I think it's pretty good, and still think there's room for a lot more. And then I think defensively, it's been a steady climb. You know, I think we're 10th now in points allowed, and so in defensive transition has been excellent, with the exception of the last game. And you know, there's a lot of good points in the paint is top 10. So there's a lot of good markers defensively as well.